Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at this 1/10 scale drift car. This is the HNR DFR-01 Pro. Now this was recently listed on Banggood, and when they asked me to test this out, I was very happy to do so because I'm really starting to get into RC drifting. Now on paper, the specs for this do look very impressive. So I'm very interested to get this unboxed, get it built, and take it out for a test run. Now they do two versions of this. They do the plug and play version, which is the one that I actually have, and that does include everything you need to get going in the box, apart from a transmitter and receiver, battery and charger. And they also do the kit version as well, whereby you will have to actually build the car up and supply all your own electronics. Now, because this is the plug and play version, the chassis is already pre-built, and we will take a look at that in a moment, but let's take a look at the electronic components first. So let's talk about the electronics first of all, and then we'll take a look at the chassis. So when it comes to the motor, we've got a 540 sized censored brushless motor, and it is 8.5 turns. Now this is a rocket motor by Surpass Hobby, and this thing does look very impressive. Now when it comes to the ESC, it is actually a 90 amp ESC. Now I did have a little bit of trouble trying to find the full spec on this, but I did a Google search and I managed to find the original manual, which I will leave a link to in the description below, and it does state that it is only 2S capable. And then finally onto the servo. Now it is a Surpass Hobby 9kg metal geared servo, and this should be more than enough for this size and weight of vehicle. So guys, I think we've talked enough about the electronics. Let's take a look at the DFR-01 1/10 scale drift car, because it does look seriously impressive. Now, because this is the plug and play version, there really isn't a lot more you have to do before it's actually ready to take out. All you have to do is fit your body posts, fit your electronics, get yourself a battery charged up, and then you can head out to see how it performs. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. And there we go then, so this is now complete. Now we're going to take a look at the internal components in a moment, but let's talk about this body shell first of all. Now as you can see, it is bright orange. It's a Toyota GT86 inspired body shell, and I think it looks quite good. I think it matches the gold wheels quite nicely. If I had to make one complaint, I think it does look quite simple. It would have been nice to have maybe seen another external feature on this, you know, potentially a spoiler or even some mirrors, you know, just something just to break that orange colour scheme up a little bit. But that said, I don't think it looks too bad. Now as you can see, all the electronics are fitted. When it comes to the transmitter and receiver, we've gone for the Dumbo RC X6F. Now this is because it does have an inbuilt gyro, and that is definitely going to come in handy when we are trying to drift this thing. Now, because this is essentially classed as a professional chassis, I really like the fact that you've got all the adjustments that you would expect to see, including being able to adjust your camber, your toe, and your droop adjustments. Now, you do get adjustable shocks on this, and you can change to many different mounting positions. I really like this because you can set this thing up to exactly how you want it to be. These are also oil filled, and they do feel incredibly smooth. Now, one of my favourite features on this 1/10 scale drift car is that carbon red chassis, and along with all the other red aluminium components, I think it looks incredible. Now we've got metal CVD drive shafts all round, we've got ball bearings, but one of the things that really stands out is that belt driven transmission. Now I've never driven an on-road RC with a belt drive transmission. I've only ever driven shaft driven cars, so I'm incredibly excited to see how this would actually compare. Now what's interesting on this is it does have quite a unique diff setup. Now on the rear we do have a lock diff, but on the front we have what is known as a one-way diff. Now I will try and explain in simple terms how a one-way diff actually works. So when you're going in a straightforward acceleration, both wheels will be turning together, but when you enter a corner, having that one-way diff will allow the outside front wheel to spin free. So it's a little bit like a normal diff, but it does roll more freely than a regular diff. So I think we've talked enough. We've had a look at the internal components. We've also talked about the body shell. Let's get this thing ready. We'll head out and we'll see how it performs. See you in a moment. Right guys, so I've come to one of my favourite locations. This is where I really enjoy doing drift stuff. It's a really nice little surface to use. Now it is a little bit damp because it was raining earlier on, but I don't think that is going to affect how this car actually performs this evening. Now I am going to be using 2S, and like I mentioned earlier on in the video as well, the ESC is only rated to 2S. So be careful if you decide to run 3S, but I'm pretty sure 2S is going to do absolutely fine. Now I am using my Dumbo RC X6 and I am going to have the gyro switched on. To begin, I'm going to have it set to about halfway. We'll then see how that performs, and I'm going to see how it actually performs when I switch it all the way up as well, because I want to see if it actually makes a difference when it comes to drifting. So like I said, I am going to test this with the gyro set to halfway. Now on the Dumbo RC X6, the gyro settings are controlled by channel 6, and as you see it is around halfway. Now I did briefly test this just now with the gyro turned off, and it was a little bit difficult to control. That could potentially be because it is a little bit damp this evening as well, but we're going to see how it goes, how it performs with the gyro set to halfway. And there we go then. So this turned out to be a very enjoyable drift car. Now I did have a little bit of help. Using the Dumbo RC X6 with the inbuilt gyro definitely helped me to try and get this thing sideways. The one thing I would say was it did feel very, very smooth, and I really do think that is because of the belt-driven transmission. Now, I've driven shaft-driven on-road cars before, and they do feel a little bit different to how this felt, but I tell you what, it really did perform great. So if you are looking for a really good quality 1/10 scale drifter, this could potentially be a good option for you. When you look at other cars that are available in this sort of price range, almost all of them are shaft driven. So the fact that this is belt driven, it is more of a sort of professional inspired chassis. I really do think this is going to be a very good option for you. Now, if you was to go for the plug and play version, just like the one I have, you will get all the electronics required in the box, apart from your transmitter, receiver, your battery and your charger. Now, I definitely think going for the Dumbo RC X6 would be a good way to go, because you will get that inbuilt gyro, and just like you see on my video, it will help you to get sideways. So I really do hope you enjoyed seeing this 1/10 scale drift car in action. Compared to some of the smaller stuff that I've done on the channel recently, having the extra weight behind it definitely helps when it comes to handling. I really do think this is going to be a good option for you if you're on a limited sort of budget and you're looking to get into drifting. I really do think this is going to be an excellent package for you. So we're going to leave the video there today. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest RC content. Be sure to like this video as well, and drop a comment down below and let me know what you think of this HNR drift car. Is this something you would be tempted to go for? Have you ever actually tried a drift RC? Let me know in the comments section down below, and I will see you again soon on the next one. Take care.